Okay, so the last time I made this video, it turned out absolutely horrible. I didn't watch it before I uploaded it, and normally I do. So I'm going to take this time and remake it here just for you guys.
Baby, lay on back and relax. Kick your pretty feet up on my dash. No.
One of summer's biggest hits is a collaboration between country band Florida Georgia Line and pop star BB Rexha. Brett Kissel was the first country singer to headline the iHeartRadio Much Music Video Awards. Country is officially cool, but that's something these young fans at Boots and Hearts Festival already know.
Florida Georgia Line, their music is bomb. It's so good. Dallas Smith, Dallas Smith, Dallas Smith.
According to the Country Music Association, a Nashville organization dedicated to expanding country's reach, the number of 18 to 24-year-olds who listen to the genre has increased by 54% in the last decade.
You know, growing up where I grew up in the country, and people like country music. Not everyone liked country music, but it was definitely a thing that, you know, people in my community listen to. Even myself from time to time. And sometimes still do listen to country music. It's cool. If you want to listen to country music, that's cool. If you don't want to listen to country music, that's also cool. You can listen to whatever you like because it's a free country.
And the senior editor of country for Rolling Stone magazine thinks he knows why.
I think the reason that country music has lost that stigma of not being the cool genre to listen to is because the artists have gotten younger. You're looking at bands like Florida Georgia Line, and even go all the way back to Taylor Swift when she was still in country music. It really kind of spoke to a younger audience.
The first time I don't know why I remember the first time I ever heard a Taylor Swift song, but it was on the pop radio station in my hometown. And I remember thinking to myself, that would actually make a really good country song. And shrugged it off. Didn't really think anything of it. Then I found out that it was actually recorded originally as a country song and remixed as a pop song.
Some of these artists are Canadian, like 24-year-old BC-born Madeline Marlowe. A month after her Boots and Hearts gig, she was invited to play a coveted show at Whiskey Jam in Nashville.
The organizer of it found me kind of organically on Spotify and asked me to come. What's up, Whiskey Jam?
Marlowe also owes at least a part of her fan following to the streaming platforms, once an unthinkable feat for country music, whose fans have been traditionally reluctant to embrace new technologies.
I beg to differ on that one. There's in my at least anecdotal experience, people who have been fans of country music have been just as willing to keep up with technology as people who don't. We all know this story of this one high-tech redneck. Like, that phrase doesn't exist for no reason. There are a lot of tech-savvy rednecks out there. That also kind of shows how much CBC doesn't know their audience, or know the country music demographic. Because there's actually a lot of country songs out there that talk about technology in one way or another. I mean, how many pop songs do you hear talk about technology in one way or another? Not very many.
People can have a little bit of everything all at once and listen to rock and pop and rap and country all together, and they're creating their own playlists.
While it may be getting younger and cooler, country is not exactly the voice of political dissent. Its artists are often criticized for staying mum on issues like gun control, even after last year's shooting at a Las Vegas country concert that left 58 people dead.
I think that...
Okay, this is why I made this video. Because we have this news segment going on and on about how, country is now cool. All the young kids, they're listening to country now. Blah, blah. Everyone's listening to country. It's all cool. Who cares? And I'm like, I remember when I heard this, I was watching TV, but not watching TV. I was watching something on my iPad while the TV was on. And I remember listening to this. I'm like, yeah, sounds right, whatever, it's cool. And then this part of the segment starts playing. I thought, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, CBC. Just cool it down. Not everyone wants to talk about politics all the time. Me, I'm one of those people that can talk about politics all the time. I'm sure my girlfriend gets very tired of it. But it's part of who I am. I am a political person. I like talking about politics. The subject interests me. But here's the thing, CBC. Here's the thing. I don't know if you understand this or not. I don't know if you're going to understand it after I tell this to you. Not everyone is interested in politics, for fuck's sakes. Do you understand this? No, of course you don't, because you're friggin' a bunch of leftist idiots. You're a bunch of Trudeau puppets at this point.
That criticism of country being too apolitical is justified. Whether it was Merle Haggard or Johnny Cash. I mean, along with Christopherson, Willie Nelson, none of those names there ever were afraid of being political or stirring up the mud, so to speak.
But if you ask the fans, country's happy-go-lucky message is a big part of the appeal.
Right now, there is a lot of negative things in the world, so it is nice to have something positive to bond around and just have fun.
My point exactly. People don't want to be bombarded with politics constantly. There is the internet is I watched a documentary about the internet one time. It was called The Virtual Revolution, I believe. And the narrator said something very interesting, and it always stuck with me, is the internet is the amplification of human behavior. And I always remembered that. And it stuck out to me like I don't think anything else ever has. And she's absolutely right. The internet is the amplification of human behavior. And because of the internet and what it has become, we're hearing more and more of all the crazy shit that's going on in the world. And it's constant. It's nonstop. And social media, specifically groups, platforms such as Facebook, have only made this worse. So is it any wonder that some people just want to take a step back and I just want to do something that's fun. I just want to do something that doesn't, remind me of all the terrible shit that's going on in the world. Does that, of course, I'm talking to CBC. I'm talking to a fucking wall.
Good vibes and teen idol stars that have helped cowboy boots kick up some fresh dust. Deanna Sumanac-Johnson, CBC News, Oro-Medonte, Ontario.
God. I mean, how do you even rationalize that? Oh, we're going to have this little fluff piece about country music, but we have to find some way to talk about politics in it. Do you understand why that's such a huge leap? And, before I end this video, I'm going to... Oh, look at that! More dislikes than likes, and comments are disabled. I wonder why, CBC. I wonder why. You never fucking turn it off. According to CBC, I always call it, I call them the Communist Bullshit Corporation, or Communist Brainwashing Corporation at this point, because that's all they throw at you is leftist propaganda. Don't get me wrong, I actually do like CBC. They're good for local stuff, and that's primarily why I watch CBC. I don't, they used to have one show called Power and Politics, and it used to be hosted by a guy named Evan Solomon, who was really good. I liked him, but they fired him, and ever since then, it's just not as good, because Evan knew how to make it entertaining. But it's just constant left-wing cultural Marxist propaganda with you. It just never stops. No wonder the world's going to hell in a handbasket. But let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all for now. Talon out.